For being here. We have Arkansas head coach Courtney Deifel, Robyn Herron, Karlie, Davison, and Tianna Bell. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Deifel, and then we will take questions for the student athletes and questions for Coach at the end. We'll start with questions in the room, and then we will go over to Zoom. So, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, is this working? I feel like yours wasn't working. Was it? Oh, got it. Can you hear me? I just want to thank everyone for being here. We're excited to extend our season at Bogle, and we're looking forward to a fun regional. It's a stacked field, as we expect, and we're ready for the challenge.
Questions for the student athletes.
Robyn, you first. What do you feel the biggest difference is in a feel of a postseason game pitching as opposed to what you see in the regular season?
I think that there's not that much of a difference. Obviously, to us, we just kind of treat it like every other game. Of course, it's important. We want to win. That's what postseason is about. But if you try to give it more weight than I guess it is, then that's when you kind of get maybe tight. So I think just being able to pitch freely and knowing that like it's a collective effort just makes it simple and just easier to win.
For Karlie and Robyn, Karlie, you first. So many of you on this team were on the field at Bogle Park whenever your season came to an end last year. How much does that come up throughout the season, or maybe in a way does that experience come up more now?
Yeah, I think it's definitely fueling us, but we are a different team from last year, so I think some of us, we don't want to feel that again, and so it's given us kind of that hunger to win those big games. But, I mean, like Robyn said, it's just another game, so it's postseason, it's important, this is what we play for, but it's just softball.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it that much because we're just trying to live in the present this year and just take it one game at a time.
And really, I guess for any of you, maybe Robyn, you first. This is a newer power program, but it is a power program that's perennially in the top 10. Do you feel that way? Do you want to carry yourself that way? How much in the moment do you recognize that?
Yeah, we know we're a really good program, and we definitely carry ourselves like it. We have a very high standard that we hold ourselves to, so I think partially that's why we're able to be a top 10 team, top 5 team, because of our standard.
Yeah, I mean, she said it. We know that we're talented, and we also know that every other team we play is talented, so we just got to go out and play our game.
So, Tianna, just your first postseason at Arkansas, how does this feel different for you than maybe in the past, just going into the tournament this go-around?
Yeah, in the past, I've had to travel to different places. I went to Oklahoma twice and LSU my sophomore year, and just coming in knowing that, we have to prove ourselves. I mean, regardless, we have to prove ourselves anyways, but being here in front of our fans, kind of gives us that good comfort level that we have to go and play freely and play our game.
Yeah, maybe whoever wants to take it. You're all seniors, but just do you feel more calm entering this postseason, just having done it before, to where it's not as much of the newness, like bright lights, you've done it?
I would say so, yeah. I feel like we all are pretty comfortable in this spot, and we're all playing for our careers, our seasons, but we don't want to end. We want to keep on playing with this team, so it's really exciting, and also we know what we're getting into.
Yeah. Robyn, want to ask, of course, South Florida's here. You grew up right down the road. Just do you have any fun memories involving that school, just things growing up that you maybe did there?
Yeah, I played travel ball tournaments at their stadium a lot when I was a kid because I grew up like 20 minutes away from their campus. I know a few girls on the team that I played travel ball with when I was like 10, 12 years old, so I'm excited for them to come and to see, old teammates that I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, Dania Brooks, y'all were teammates at Sickles, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just what should we know about her and maybe the Sickles High School? Is it Griffins?
Yes, we were teammates in high school. She was a year younger than me, but she's a great hitter. She's a great person. She used to pitch. I don't think she pitches anymore, but she was a good pitcher back in the day.
And then maybe Karlie or Tianna, just what do you think makes this team poised to make a postseason run this year?
I would say honing in on the little things and just making sure we're perfect at those, because when we're perfect at those, the bigger things seem more simple and come easier to us.
Yeah, I would say a lot of our team also has been in this position before, using last year as an experience. We all, like I said, know what to expect. We know not to let the moment get too big. So I think that's what's really exciting is we all have more experience from last year.
This one is for Robyn and Karlie. Courtney's talked a lot about how this is a special group. I mean, she mentioned that even after the draw came out. What about this team for you guys going into this postseason feels different maybe than in years prior? What about it is so special in many ways?
Yeah, I think we're all very bought into this postseason, and we're all just so devoted to winning and to giving our best every day at practice, regardless of what we're doing. And I think we have a very deep roster. Like there are a lot of things that we can do, and I think it's important because if I'm not having my best day, I know that there's 4 or 5 other pitchers that could, have my back and give it their all too.
Yeah, I think to build off of that, we also just know how to win. Like, no matter if the defense or the pitching is having a really great game or the offense, we just all can find a way just to get it done. I think that's what we've done a good job of this season. We have each other's backs, so it's just really fun.
Dudley, I think I saw you on the Zoom, so if you have questions for the student athletes, you can unmute and go ahead and ask.
All right, Robyn, obviously, when you going out on the mound, you got a great offense behind you. Put into words for me how good that offense is and how nice it is to have them around. And then for the other two, how good is it to have that pitching staff? Go out and put up a few runs, you're going to win a ball game.
Yeah, I think our offense definitely helps me feel comfortable on the mound. I remember a game way back in non-conference when we were playing Omaha, and I gave up a home run in the first inning, and I was like, all right, guys, pick me up here, have my back, and Dakota just went right out and just hit a home run, and I was like, hey, thanks. But, just things like that just make you feel like it's just like a true team effort because, there's so many people that could do it, so it's not just all on one person.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, sometimes when it takes us a second to figure out what the pitcher's doing or whatever, we know that Rob, Peyton, Saylor, whoever's in the circle is going to hold it down and just compete for us. That's all we really want, and we can see them in the mound when they're competing. We want to go out and score for them.
Appreciate it.
Anything else for the student athletes? You ladies are good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yay. Good job, Birdie. It's okay, Birdie. We'll take questions for Coach Deifel now.
I can. Oh, do you have to have the mic for others? I'm like, I can hear you.
Courtney, congratulations yet again. And similar to what I asked the players, do you view this now as a powerhouse program? Do you carry yourself that way? Do you want your players to carry themselves that way?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've worked ourselves into being a powerhouse program. It's an interesting dynamic because I think we are consistently a powerhouse program and still a program that feels like we have a chip on our shoulder and that there's times we get underappreciated or undervalued for what this program has accomplished. And our players have that chip too. We feel like we have to prove ourselves every time we take the field. And so I think that's how we've gotten to that point. I think that we're always striving to meet the standard that we've set. And so, yeah, I feel like we're there. I feel like we earn it every day. I feel like we carry ourselves that way. And also in the way that we have to show up and prove ourselves. It's a really cool dynamic.
The way the season ended last year was so emotional for you, for your players, whether it's directly or indirectly. How often have you seen that come up throughout this season?
Not that much, to be honest. We knew we were going to get it more from you guys than anything that we've faced or talked about or anything. No matter what, any ending is tough. And this last year's team, you go to battle together, and no matter how you end, it's a tough ending. And this team's different. How that experience last year, or any experience, has only fueled this team. We haven't talked about it. They don't want to feel it again. I don't want to feel it again. And we also knew going into this, we were going to have to talk about it with you guys. They're ready. They're ready. We have a tough field. They know what it felt like. They don't want to feel that again. and they're going to do everything that they can to not.
Played in a big-time College World Series type atmosphere this year in Oklahoma. Here at Bogle, the crowd you'll see this weekend will be unlike anything this year. What's the level of excitement to embrace being at home in front of your own fans?
We're really excited. We have an incredible fan base, and they have shown up for us and will continue to show up for us through this postseason. This is one of the most special places to play, and we appreciate that every time we take the field and get the opportunity to play in front of them. We've played in some really big environments this year. I think that's what feels a lot different about this year. Our schedule was crazy tough. It was crazy tough. It challenged this team. This team's battle tested. They're not going to flinch over an environment, an atmosphere, circumstance, anything. We've been through it together, and it's great to work yourselves into the opportunity to continue to play at home in your stadium, in front of your fans, stay in your own beds, all those things. And so we're very fortunate to have that, and we're ready for it.
Hey, Courtney, just what challenges does Fordham pose, your first opponent?
Well, they're coming off a conference tournament championship, and so, we're looking at that, and USF coming off conference tournament championships. They know how to win, and they're on a high, earning this opportunity. And so we know with Melissa and her staff, with Fordham specifically, we've known Melissa for a really long time. She is a really great coach, really great person, so we know the team's going to be prepared. They're going to do the fundamentals really well. They're really scrappy. That's her personality too. So all those things, and coming off the high of a conference championship, we know we're going to have a big battle.
You've known her for a long time. Where does that, stem from?
Oh, back when we were young. She's from Hawaii, and so we've known each other through these teams we played on. And then she is a college teammate of a player that I grew up playing with, so we just have been in a lot of the same circles. Coach Michael knows her really well also. And in this game, in this profession, in life, when you meet a good one, you hold on to that, and she's become part of my circle, and she's one of the best there is.
For a regional setting in particular, not, a weekend series, how do you think your pitching sets up this year maybe compared to years in the past with that extra depth?
Well, I think that, you have the depth. You know that we can go with matchups. We can go with combos. If, like Robyn just said, if someone's not their sharpest, we have another one to go to. So we have a ton of depth, and we have a lot of confidence in all of them.
And then just what do you think this time of year separates teams? What does it come down to?
Just really focusing on the moment. I think that's what this team's done really well, is we've had a schedule that, like I just said, a schedule that's challenged us, but a schedule that really could have got us out of who we are and focusing on the moment of looking ahead to this series or that series or this part of our conference slate. This team has done a really good job of just checking themselves and being really present. They're really mature, they're really seasoned, and when you get into these games, you got to know that the unexpected are gonna happen, and how are you gonna handle that? And you got to find ways to win. There's a lot of things that we've had throughout the year that have gotten us ready for this, and the biggest thing is going out to play to win, not to lose.
Lee, you can go ahead.
You've got a nice mix of veteran presence who's been in big games and youthful players that have come on and been in big situations before. How nice is it to have those younger players come in and be ready to play right away?
Well, it's huge. It's the whole point of recruiting, of having some really strong veterans, having some really talented young ones, and having that blend of all of those things where they get to have those experiences. And every time you have an experience, good or bad, you're better for it. And so what this veteran group has done is they've just done a really good job of getting the young ones up to speed, sharing their experiences, sharing their journey of the highs and the lows, so that they can really use each other to be their best version.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Coach?
I've got more. Hey, Courtney, I heard another SEC coach this week talking about how important it is going into postseason to have a team that's faced some adversity. And I guess, could you identify maybe what some of that has been for your team this year and how they've handled those type of moments?
Yeah, I think you could look at in specific games and specific situations in series. I think one of our first pieces of adversity was in opening weekend when we played Virginia. I think that was, just anytime you're facing the unexpected or something doesn't go as planned, or maybe you get punched in the face and how you're going to respond. So I think about those things. I think there was, you could look back at the adversity a little bit of the opening game at Oklahoma, and we're in a battle. We, Co got injured. We were facing some other off field things, and we fought our butts off and lost a really a heartbreaking game, and then the next day we turned the page and we found a way to win a 1-run game at their place. And so I could probably look at most of our games and find a piece of, adversity comes in big and small, and so I think we've faced our share of it, and we've become stronger for it.
And then just kind of in a 4-team, regional, how much bandwidth goes into just everyone versus primarily right now, like your Fordham scout? How much of the week are you having to allocate toward all the teams?
Well, we focus on all the teams because we have the week to prepare. We can't get to the other side of Fordham and then figure out who we play and then have to dive into the prep. It's a prep-based sport, and our team's very prep heavy, and so we have focused on all of them, and our main focus now is Fordham. So we know what everyone brings. We have a good understanding of that, but the last thing that we've done as a team is focus on Fordham, and that'll be our only focus until that game.
Yeah, and just this time of year, how important is that, just with whatever's directly in front of you, to be focused on that?
It's really important. Doesn't matter what comes after that. That's the only thing that matters right now.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks.